All right, just finished watching the Dark Side of the Ring episode based on Luna Vachon. Honestly, I think because what they said about Luna Vachon not getting her chance to wrestle um, is probably the reason why I never paid attention to her. Yeah, she was subjected to as a valet, manager, the side person, a sidekick, and it's really disappointing. That's probably why I never paid attention to her. I wasn't even going to pay attention to this episode. That's how well I knew of her. I knew about when she was the manager valet of Gangrel, and that was the early stages of how the Undertaker and his Ministry of Darkness started. I remember that far back. Um, these episodes, I made a comment when Jim Cornette did his podcast about this episode. I said, when it's based on particular stars, you could say it makes you feel sorry for these people, and let alone the dark content that the episode wants to its subject, its content with the family and friends and stars that they were associated. I wasn't gonna pay attention to this episode, but I watched it, and and you feel so sorry that you didn't pay attention to these people enough. And I did the things I did not know about her were her start in championship wrestling from Florida, kind of where she was at I don't know, the reporter journalist. I'm not sure what exactly her character was when they showed that clip, and Kevin Sullivan kind of blindsided smacked her out of the scene, and they said then she got possessed or cursed by Kevin Sullivan's devilish army and whatnot in Florida. And I was before I started. I didn't start till 1986, so I never got to see any of Florida. There's nothing in Florida that was up into the Philadelphia um, television market. I always saw Jim Crockett Promotions. I did not know anything about Luna Vachon. Now, however, I learned about the Vachons. The Maurice Mad Dog and Paul Butcher Vachon. I read about them a lot when I was learning about professional wrestling history, the books. I've seen some video, not mentioned like in the WWF Best of tapes, I think. I know Vivian Vachon. I had no idea. I thought Luna would have been probably related somehow, blood related, and actually, learning she was adopted. Disturbing story how that occurred. And here's the thing that was really crazy. Also, that when one of the first people in that episode was Lady Maxine, Mad Maxine, her name. I remember her in a couple of valet or appeared at ringside for certain wrestlers in the UWF when that made Philadelphia market on television. I remember her, and then the scene where she appears, I believe, in a battle of the belts or some, yeah, one of the tapes from Florida, and she talked about Luna. What kind of drove me crazy about Luna Vachon, when I did hear her, especially when in the WWF when she was around Bam Bam Bigelow, that kind of screechy voice of hers, but I did not hear her voice until apparently somebody did a shoot interview, and they did background audio clips of her, and you hear her actual voice. How did she not destroy her throat or hurt herself with that screeching voice? Oh my God! How do you not hurt your throat doing that? But it wasn't. She made her character, and it's people like her that really, if she wants to do her character and shave her head and whatnot, make a kind of a side head mohawk. If you want to live your character 24/7 like Flair or Dusty or Chic, all the power to you. But that screeching voice, I don't know how you don't hurt yourself. But it fit her. The one thing that was so disappointing. It's also very true that I'm glad, like Deborah Medusa Michelli. she was my one of my top four. I'd say top four favorite women wrestlers, and I have to mention my top women wrestlers: Wendy Richter, Sherry Martel, China, Medusa Michelli, wanting to drop the title. Medusa dropped the title to her, and and Luna didn't want to fulfill it. Was wow, incredible. But I don't know what the plan. You got to question in that when they talk about that that situation is, did the promoter, the booker, know what they're planning on? Was Deborah says pin me, and did Luna now? I think it was going to be a shoot where Luna was concerned Deborah was going to get fired for dropping the title, so I don't think the promoter knew about it. Wow. The thing they go on about that, a lot of the women were used as valets and managers, and Medusa was really adamant that women were not used enough. Instead of being women wrestlers, nowadays they are, but back then, Vince McMahon and whomever his inner circle is, sometimes they call it eye candy. There's another term that I do not believe in. It's called sex sells. And for what Luna Vachon went through in the tag team match they were talking about against Sable, I have no respect for three particular women in Trish Stratus and Sunny. It is going to be critical, controversial, disrespectful, probably even. I want nothing to do with those three. I had a Facebook Wrestling Hall of Fame, and I quit on it because I was the only one. I was no committee deciding who was going to be inducted in this Hall of Fame. I made on Facebook for wrestling, and I created that Hall of Fame because I knew, because with Stephanie in charge, Stephanie McMahon, no way China would ever get in the Hall of Fame until DX was inducted. I created a Hall of Fame. I mean, China wasn't my original inductees, but we have a 4th edition. Every couple of months I inducted and I put China through. Sable, Trish Stratus, and Sunny were the Attitude Era of Marilyn Monroe. And Vince McMahon really focused on sex sells, and it's something that it will never work with me. Yeah, Jerry Lawler. I remember the moment he when Sable appeared and she had like some kind of covered handprints over her breasts, and oh my God, that was so ridiculous. I don't know how USA Network allowed that. I have to bluntly say it. Sable, Trish Stratus, and Sunny, that you're and maybe one other particular, I won't say her name. They were Vince McMahon's whores, whether he messed around with them or not. That's how he treated them. But Luna, and they were all right in this Dark Side of the Ring episode. They were all correct that Sable was not worthy of pinning Luna Vachon in a tag match when Luna Vachon wanted to be a wrestler. But in the time period, the women were for the eye candy, they call it, sex sells. No. What's also disturbing is now women almost practically have their own. I can't say division, but they have so many of them now. Do you know what Luna? Somebody said in the episode that Luna Vachon would have loved today's wrestling. I don't think so, actually. Do you know the person who got the shot instead of Luna Vachon? China. She could work with the men because she practically looked like a male with the her muscularity and voice. And who doesn't love and respect China? And that's, that would have been a dream match if not a tag match. Luna Vachon and China. That'd been a heck of a match if not, wow, a tag match. since I only vaguely remember Luna Vachon with Bam Bam Bigelow. However, apparently her return, her second chance with WWF, she says, I wish I would have seen it. I cracked up laughing. I was so I actually loved when she said the bitch is back on the microphone. Oh, I loved it. But she's so right that she's so correct that and so many of people in the documentary were so correct that she wasn't given her chance to be. I mean, she did vaguely. I bet she. I mean, she. I mean, she took. She was able to take on Stevie Richards in a cage match in the ECW. What Luna Vachon also her situation, not being able to either wrestle guys or really wrestle or be given a shot at the WF Women's title. You know what her situation reminds me of? Babe Ruth, that he was never been allowed to be a manager of a team, the New York Yankees or whomever. He was like a co-manager, but wasn't given a chance to really manage. Luna Vachon was not given a chance to do in-ring talent solo and really get attention, her own attention. Damn. I didn't know anything about that. No, she had a family of her own. And all I knew was her Vachon family, but I didn't know that she had been adopted as a little girl. I wasn't going to watch this episode. I said it 3 or 4 times. I wasn't going to watch this episode because I didn't know much about Luna Vachon. But now, it's these episodes you learn about a lot of their career. But Luna Vachon was a precursor to China. Yeah. So that's my review of Dark Side of the Ring, Luna Vachon. Rest in peace, Luna. I should have paid more attention to you.